In the last lesson, we learned how to use the program written by Korean language to test the communication between industrial robot and host. If the industrial robot wants to make real socket communication with the host, it also needs to set parameters on the industrial robot side. Here, we click on 6 settings and then check host communication. Okay, here we click on display and there is a client. It means that treat the robot as the client and the host as the server. We can see a total of 8 tags here. The tags all start with C, and the numbers after them are the serial numbers of each tag. The tags are independent to each other. We can see that some parameters has been set in C1 and C3, but the status is undefined. These tags are identified by us when programming in Korean language. That's to say which tag we use to communicate with the host for socket communication. Here, we take C4 as an example. After moving the cursor here, we click Enter here. We can add an annotation. For example, here we let it connected to the PC. Here we can write connected PC. Okay, click Enter. Okay, next, we move the cursor to the protocol column and click Select. Here we select SM, which is the abbreviation of socket message. We mainly use socket to communicate. We click Enter. Next, move the cursor to the startup state. Click Select here. Click Define. Then move the cursor here and click Enter. Here is for entering the IP address of the host. We enter 192.168.101.20 and click Enter. This is the IP address of the host to communicate with. Remote pass or share doesn't need to be set here. Let's look down. There is a remote port here. It's defaulted to 0. We can set it according to our need. Some systems don't have a remote port. Here, we set this remote port to A0A4. Then, there is another port below. This port here refers to the port on the physical hardware. For example, if we click Select, you can see that there are RS-232, port 2, GD17 here. We don't make a selection here. Response timeout and the response timeout period is 15 minutes. Next is the username. The username is anonymous, which means that any user can use it. So we don't set the password. Our process just now only set the parameters of this tag, but has not started this tag yet. We can see that the current status is undefined. Next, we select Action and then Define. Now it became defined. Then select the action again, and then we click 3 star. Now the status of this tag is started. As we mentioned just now, the remote port here refers to the connection port at one end of the server, such as A0, A4. Some systems don't have this option here, so what should we do? We click on Menu, then click Next page. Click on System. There is a variable here, which is probably around 250, and we can look for it. Alright, we can see that there is a host CFG for 258 here, and a host CFG for 261 here. Because our robot is set as a client currently, we have to select this item and then click Enter. Because we want to set the fourth item, that's the fourth tag, we move the cursor here and click Enter. Here we can see the information we just set. Make the annotation. Connect PC here. The protocol is SN, which is socket message. Here is the IP address of the host. And then this is the response time. Okay, we can see that there is a server port here. If there is no remote port in the tag setting interface just now, then we can set the communication port of the remote server here. Because it has been set just now, A0, A4 is directly displayed here. In order to facilitate debugging, we usually use network debugging assistance on the computer side. Let's look at here. There are 3 types here. Because the robot side is now used as the client, and the host is used as the server, we select the address 192.168.101.20 of the TCP server host, which is the IP address of the current computer. Here we set A0, A4 to correspond to A0, A4 on the robot side, and then we open it. After opening, the network debugging assistant will be in the monitoring state. We can see the promote here. The client here is 0, which means that it's not connected to any client. This lesson ends here. See you.